Hey, this is Sasha, the options coach. In today's video, we're going to take a look at how do you create a trading plan. So this is kind of one of the questions that I've seen here in Facebook recently. How do you come up with a trading plan? Is it weekly or daily? So when you start looking at a trading plan, a lot of people look at trading in terms of a one-off type of system. They're looking at, hey, for this week or for today, I want to make this amount of money. It kind of resonates from a job basis where every day you go into a job and you say, well, I make $200 a day. So I want to do that in trading. I want to make $200 a day. So unfortunately in trading, things don't always work out that way because opportunities are going to be different. So for example, for 2 months out of the time, you might have, let's say, a bullish market, or 1 month, you might have a bearish market. So those trading opportunities are going to be different. So when you're creating your trading plan, you actually need to base it maybe more around a trigger or a system or a method or a methodology, a model that works a little bit better. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you a little bit of insight. I will be going over some things here on the drawing tab, but I will share with you some insight. If you go into the options black belt, there's going to be some PDFs and stuff. There's more details in here from the portfolio pyramid model that I have that I'll be sharing, and you can get that for free. And there's like a little mini webinar on there as well. And also trading evolution strategy, also kind of links in the description. You could check that out, also free. So I'll be pulling some of the stuff here as I go through some of the content here. So when we look into this, okay, what's going to happen is you are looking to set up something that goes in, and let's say there's a trigger of some sort. So now you have a trigger, and this could be, I'm going to just use a moving average for it as an example. And when a price over here goes, and let's say here we have price breaks above that certain spot or an area, you get into the trade, and you might hold that trade, okay, for a bit of time until later on price breaks below it. Okay, so again, very simple conceptual thing that I'm referring to and talking about right now. And it's just more to illustrate a point. Your method of entry or trigger could be completely different, but here we kind of get in and here we get out. So there's kind of our in point, and then there is our out point. So this alone, I have seen made people 6 figures, 7 figures in many different traders out there where they're looking for a simple moving average. They go in, they get out. Okay, a little movement. Now that movement could be on a daily basis. It could be on a weekly basis. It could be on a monthly basis. That will vary because based on the question that we had here, it's pretty much, you know, is it daily, weekly, and so forth. But what we've got here is actually a basic system. So when I look at this kind of trigger point, it's kind of starting to form into a general system or kind of a strategy point. Now the money management part behind it, the methodology behind it, how you manage the capital, how much capital you put in, those are other very detailed things that is just beyond the scope of what I could get into right now. But let's just take, for example, kind of this concept of this strategy of just getting into a moving average and getting out. So now we've got ourselves a basic system. So as for building this, this point, this is one part of the business. And when we start looking at things, what we might have is we might be doing this on, let's say different buckets. Like this could be on a Ford, a Starbucks, and a Walmart. And each time these are hitting those triggers, you're making a certain amount of money. Ford, you know, depending on how large of a position you put in, it could go $400. Starbucks might be $800, and Walmart could be $200. So over the course of the month, let's say, well, you've collected a certain amount of money or dollars, and now you've got kind of this strategy or this system making you that amount of capital. So what we want to do kind of next is we want to go in and now create maybe another system or strategy or concept and go into kind of a next bucket. Okay, so what we'll have is maybe a different strategy. It could be just as simple as something like covered calls, which is what we talk about a lot. This is also part of the 90-day options black belt program that we do for coaching. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But here, if you're doing covered calls against a stock that, let's say, is just trending up, what you're doing is you're just buying the stock and then you sell calls against it. And even if that stock kind of flatlines and stays still, you're kind of collecting kind of an income periodically. Okay. And you're just doing it time and time again. And if the stock falls, let's say you're down $1,000 on the stock. Well, each one of these from the call side, you might make $200, $200 to pay off that $1,000. So that's kind of could be a second strategy or system. And again, this one could be every week or every couple of weeks, but you might have now two different types of things happening. So you've got kind of one that could be as needed or as you see it. Okay. So we've got one thing, and then another thing kind of like repeats, let's say, every 14 days or bi-weekly or something to that effect. So they are kind of different. And these two things are now starting to kind of create a little cluster of a bucket to your overall business. And this is where things get very interesting, where when we start doing this, you might have different stocks doing different things. So let's say this bucket right here. So this is kind of like your first one. And it's just because I just have the space here. And this is like your second one, your second strategy or system. And then here you might have a third one. And here you have kind of a fourth one. And together, this makes kind of like a cluster of income coming in. So it's not like one thing that should be making you all that money. A lot of people do think of it that way. They say, hey, well, I'm just going to do Starbucks, or I've got this strategy or system. And that's all fine, but they all don't work at the same time. Because in some cases, stocks are moving up, sometimes moving down, sometimes some stocks are moving up and the other ones are moving down. So what's nice is if you have multiple clusters of buckets here, you actually can be spreading your risk in capital. Now, I know that if you don't have enough money or capital, you might not be able to do this. You might just be able to do kind of like one cluster of these buckets, or even just one bucket on its own and just kind of sticking to kind of one little thing. But this is kind of where you want to go to for as far as planning things out. From a portfolio basis, you know, if you like kind of more visuals this way, you could break things down into like a long portfolio, medium portfolio, and speculative, where the long portfolio could be, hey, things that you're dealing with more longer term duration, and medium term duration, and speculative could be speculative. Of course, this could also be in terms of, for a medium portfolio, you could do things where this medium portfolio is more like theta-based trades if you're into options. Long portfolio is more like delta, and speculative is kind of based on charts or it could be like butterfly trades or whatever you like. Butterfly trades could also be long portfolio, but I'm just saying you could mix things up in that way. So anyways, I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into building kind of a strategy or plan, just kind of like looking at this question. The point is you want to have multiple strategies to give you that bigger plan to kind of move your machine of that portfolio and move your business, your trading business in there. Because if you just look at it from hey, I do this one strategy thing, and you can do that, and that's fine. But for a lot of people mentally, it's hard to kind of just hone in and focus on that one thing because their money's not spread out, and it makes it difficult when things are going against you all in that one spot in one area. So anyways, check that out. You can grab those freebies down below. There's kind of going to be a couple links, and there's more like videos here that you can kind of check out that are specific to building out these strategies and pieces, absolutely free. So check those out. Truly appreciate you joining me, sticking with me, and hope to see you in another video. Anyways, thanks and take care.